Imagine getting a phone that looks and feels almost like a flagship. But right when you're about to get excited, you realize something's missing, and not just some small feature. I'm talking about a decision that might change everything. What would you do? Stick around, because what's going on with Samsung's Galaxy A55 this year is honestly surprising. The moment I picked this thing up, I felt it. This is not the same as last year's A54. There's a weight to it, a chill of metal on the sides, a kind of density that just makes it feel like it belongs in the same conversation as Samsung flagships. That's because this year, A55 finally gets what so many of us have been waiting for, a full metal frame. Not plastic painted to look like metal. I mean real aluminum. Flat edges, solid construction, and paired with a smooth glass back that catches the light in just the right way. It's one of those phones you want to keep flipping in your hand, just because it feels that good. You've also got proper protection here. IP67 water and dust resistance. Not something you usually see in this price range, and a huge win for durability. But here's the weird part. For all the improvements, for all the effort Samsung's clearly put in, they've decided not to sell this in the US. Yeah, the A55 is skipping the American market entirely. You'll still get the Galaxy A35 and the older A54, sure. But this one, if you're in the States, no dice. And honestly, I can't figure out why. Because this could have been a perfect sweet spot for so many people over there. Let's talk about the screen for a second. It's a bit bigger this year, 6.6 inches, and it's stunning. We're looking at a Super AMOLED panel, full HD plus resolution, and a 120 Hz refresh rate that just makes everything feel smoother, sharper, more alive. Whether you're scrolling through Instagram, watching a movie, or just reading the news, the display keeps things crisp and beautiful. But it's not just about size or refresh rate. The brightness here is actually impressive. Indoors, it caps around 450 nits. Not mind-blowing, but totally fine. Step outside, though, and it adapts instantly, cranking up past 1,000 nits when you need it. Even in direct sunlight, I could see messages, maps, no problem. That kind of brightness used to be flagship only not long ago. Now it's here in a mid-ranger. And the cherry on top? Gorilla Glass Victus Plus. That's not some cheap protection. That's the real deal, helping us survive life's little accidents with a little more grace. If you're someone who watches a lot of content on your phone, you'll appreciate the speakers too. Dual stereo speakers, tuned well enough to actually make a difference. There's more volume, sure, but also more clarity. Songs sound more layered. Dialogue is clearer. Even at max volume, it doesn't distort the way a lot of mid-range phones do. It's not just loud, it's listenable. There's a difference. Samsung ditched the older chip and gave the A55 a brand new Exynos 1480. I know, Exynos doesn't exactly have the best reputation, but this time, it's actually pretty solid. Day-to-day use feels snappy. Apps open fast, animation stays smooth, and jumping between tasks doesn't cause any hiccups. Even gaming, unless you're trying to play super heavy games at max graphics, holds up surprisingly well. I tried a few popular titles, and it kept up. No crazy overheating. No lag spikes. Just reliable, smooth gameplay. That's a huge upgrade from last year's A54, which honestly felt sluggish by comparison. And if you're into numbers, yep, the benchmarks reflect it too. Strong CPU and GPU performance for this class. But what really impressed me wasn't the scores, it was the consistency. After 15, 20, even 30 minutes of heavy use, the A55 didn't heat up like crazy. It just kept doing its thing, quietly, smoothly. Software-wise, it ships with One UI 6.1 based on Android 14, which means you're getting Samsung's latest software and a really polished experience right out of the box. It's clean, modern, and filled with thoughtful features. But the best part? The promise. Samsung's offering 4 years of major Android updates and 5 years of security patches. For a phone in this price range, that's rare. That's peace of mind. That's knowing you're not buying something that'll be outdated in a year and a half. Now, to be fair, you're not getting the full Galaxy AI suite here. No live translation features. No fancy text summarizers like on the S24 Ultra. But really, I didn't miss them. This phone already does so much right. And those features, for most people, they're still more of a nice-to-have than a must. Battery life is another area where Samsung played it smart. Same 5,000 mAh battery as last year, but somehow better stamina. I consistently got through a day and a half without needing to top up. Web browsing, YouTube, texting, some light gaming. It just kept going. In heavier use, it still comfortably lasted all day. Charging speeds are the same, 25W wired charging. Not the fastest around, but it gets the job done. In about 30 minutes, you'll get just over 50%. A full charge takes around an hour and 15. Would I love to see faster charging next year? Absolutely. But for now, this feels acceptable, especially given how long it lasts once it's full. Let's get into the cameras, because this is where people either get really excited or really picky. And I get it. The main sensor is still 50 megapixels. On paper, it hasn't changed. But the processing? That's a different story. Samsung toned things down this year. No more oversaturated shots that look like they've been dunked in colored juice. What you get now is a more balanced, realistic vibe. Colors feel true. Skin tones look natural. And details, especially in good lighting, are sharp and crisp. The ultra-wide cam? It's solid. Not amazing. But in daytime, it's more than usable. Colors match the main sensor well, and there's very little distortion. At night, though, yeah, it struggles a bit. You lose sharpness, and the noise creeps in. There's also a 5MP macro cam. It's there. It works. But let's be honest, most people will forget it exists. Still, it can be fun for those random close-up shots of food or flowers. If you're into that, night mode on the main camera actually impressed me. It kicks in automatically in low light and manages to keep things looking clean and detailed. You don't get that blown-out look or weird smudging that used to plague mid-range night photography. It's not pixel-level magic, but it's closer than you might think. Video recording maxes out at 4K 30 frames per second, both on the rear and front cameras. And guess what? It looks good. Stabilization keeps things smooth. Audio sounds clear. You could definitely vlog with this. No problem. Even night video looked decent, which shocked me a little, given the price point. The front camera is a 32MP shooter, and I genuinely liked it. Selfies are sharp. Colors feel natural. And the detail? Really impressive for a mid-range selfie cam. Whether it's video calls or your next Instagram story, this one holds up. So where does all of this leave us? The Galaxy A55 is a kind of phone that earns your respect the more time you spend with it. It's not flashy. It doesn't scream for attention. But it feels right. The build is rock solid. The screen is beautiful. The performance is dependable. The cameras, especially the main one, are totally capable. Yes, it's not launching in the US, and yeah, the price might be a touch high depending on your region. But if you find on sale, or if you're someone who values long-term updates, reliable performance, and a phone that simply feels good every time you pick it up, then this might just be the smartest upgrade you can make this year. Thanks for watching, and thanks for staying with me until the end. You're the reason I love making these videos.